On this episode of the Wild Table, we are onto the second phase of New Zealand's game bird season. Out at the farm, we're chasing blue chickens, lightning fast forest ninjas, and a variety of other game animals. And after a day of blazing muzzles, I prove that you can, in fact, eat Pukeko meat.
That was unreal. I just shot. We're going for a walk looking for pheasants. Look, they're still running up the hill. Fuck, man. I just shot a bunch of Pukeko and there was 2 red deer standing right there. Oh man, unreal. We just watched them pretty much run a circle around us because they didn't know where to go. Should have taken their rifle. Well, on the bright side, we got some Pukeko down, and I think I know where to go for the deer next time. Murphy's Law, mate. There we go. This is a Pukeko, quite similar to like a coot in the United States. It's a swamp bird. Has these nice big feet on it. A lot of people rubbish them for eating, but the breasts are actually really quite good eating. So I'm quite happy to take these home for the table. There should be 3 more there, Charlie. Charlie, this way, go find the bird. Where is he? Go find him. Good job, bring it here. Good job, Charlie. And that is also the difference between lead and steel. I just fired several shots, and pretty much each shot 1 dead bird on the ground immediately. No second shots required. It just smacks them so much harder. And of course I do understand why you can't shoot toxic lead over water anymore, but I mean, it's what a difference. Like, Charlie, leave it. This way. Go find the bird. Go find the bird. Where is he? Go find him. Okay, so Pukekos, which are also a native New Zealand bird, are one of the few native birds that we're actually allowed to hunt. The reason being is that Pukekos are what you would refer to as anthrophilic, meaning anthro meaning human. Thanks, Charlie, bumping the camera. Anthro meaning human and philic meaning loving, actually. But the term refers to, dogs, so messy. What it refers to is that these animals thrive alongside humans. Deer are also an animal that you would refer to as anthrophilic, meaning as we have cultivated and turned land into pastures and into farmland, the deer are thriving because they're feeding on the edges of the farmland. Likewise, Pukeko feed on the edges of farms and in like little wet areas on farms, and they're actually doing really, really good to the point where they're allowed to be hunted through bird season. So it's quite cool that there is 1 native bird that you actually are allowed to hunt, because everything else that you hunt here is pretty much introduced. Mallards, pheasants. Oh, there's that other Pukeko. I knew there was another one. What? We're gonna go chase that one down. It's just hiding in the grass. Still alive. See if Charlie will retrieve it. Come on, Charlie. Because Charlie just can't find it. Found a big pile of feathers, which is where I must have shot him. I'm still buzzing on seeing 2 deer just run out of there. Man, so crazy. It's very windy today, as you can tell, obviously, but that was a good start, and I really hope that we can flush a pheasant or so somewhere around here. I love pheasants. They are just such a majestic and delicious bird. We actually, to be honest, with the wind being what it is, I didn't really think I was going to shoot anything this morning, so having a few birds in the bag is kind of cool. We're just going to go back to the truck now, get a little bit more ammo, and a couple of bits and pieces, and then we'll continue to walk the farm. Such a great farm for bird hunting, because all these like little accessible pockets of bush where the birds just hunker down. It's perfect. It's a little windy, but aside from that, it's perfect.
That was a cock pheasant. Gotta be so fast on the pheasants, eh? They're just that little bit smarter too. We definitely just shot a cock pheasant and we just kicked up a heap of ducks as well. I'm actually just trying to see where they'll land again. Such a good farm for this. But the pheasants over the other side of this water. So I'm gonna get over there now and hopefully retrieve a beautiful male pheasant. Okay, so unfortunately the pheasant, I must have shot him just a little bit too low, so he got away. Kills me. But Charlie couldn't even pick up a scent trail, so he must have just gone over the rise and then just kept flying. Like I definitely hit him, but he disappeared. But then we just came over here, and there's a little pond over here, and so all those ducks that were circling in the air before actually all landed on here. So managed to kick them up, and I shot 4 birds out of the sky. So we got 4 pukeko and 4 ducks, and I'm pretty confident that we can still find a pheasant or so, maybe 2. What a fantastic farm for bird hunting. Come on, Charlie.
So that's the other great thing about being able to hunt a farm like this is there's lots of grass, and of course with there's lots of grass like this there's also field mushrooms. So there's a bunch of puffballs just now. They actually get much bigger, but these are a beautiful prime eating mushroom. They can get up to sort of the size of a small soccer ball. So I'm gonna take these guys with for sure. That's freaking awesome. Yeah. What a bountiful day this has been.
Wow, that was a steep hill, man. Whew. There's a hare just popped up right in front of us, and I managed to get a shot on him, but it wasn't a great shot, so just got him in one of the legs, and he hoofed it up here. Without Charlie, I would have never found him, but thankfully Charlie tracked it down straight away, and I managed to get another shot on it. So there's another table animal, and hare is a bit of a favorite. Hare is delicious. So yeah, quite stoked with the back limit that we're achieving today. If I had had the rifle at the right time, we could have had some venison on deck too. Yeah, very cool.
That was very quick, but not quick enough.
Can't say that it's been an unsuccessful day by any means, but my God, we spooked a lot of cock pheasants today and shot none. We also just spooked another deer. So yeah, apparently deer and cock pheasants are outsmarting us. But hey, ducks, pukeko, and hare. Winning.
Down, but he's still moving, so I need to go and get the dog and get down there. And this is what we came for. The ring-necked pheasant. He flew out of the bushes right as we drove past. We drove up the road a little bit, jumped out of the truck, went where we saw him land, and flushed him out of the bush. He went right up into the air, 2 shots, downed him. Absolute beauty. So wrapped.
Far out, what a day. I can't tell you how happy I am to have had the honor of hunting this land and taking home this very mixed bag of small game animals. I managed to execute some very satisfying shots, Chizzy captured some stunning footage, and Charlie's nose remains the best. The day finishes with a solid hare, 4 pukekos, 1 very beautiful ringneck pheasant, and several ducks in prime eating condition.
Alright, what's up? Welcome back to the kitchen. Now, Pukeko, okay? I've written several articles about eating Pukeko. The joke goes that you take the bird, you put it into a pot with a whole bunch of other stuff, boil it for 12 hours, then you take the Pukeko, you throw it out, and you eat everything else. The joke ranges from boots to rocks to God knows what. Here's the thing. Everyone who's ever told me that joke, and I've asked them if they've actually tried Pukeko, they've said no. Which is, in my opinion, is kind of dumb. If you're gonna knock something, at least try it first, okay? So, Pukeko, I've eaten it a bunch of times and it's actually really not bad. Yeah, it just isn't, you know what I mean? It is a good meat to use, and Pukekos are easy to shoot, so why not, when you're out there harvesting ducks or geese or whatever, also shoot a couple of Pukekos and bring them back for the kitchen. What we're gonna do today is something super simple. We're gonna make a South American style chimichurri sauce, which takes probably all of 2 minutes to make. We're gonna set that in the fridge. Then we're gonna deal to these bits of Pukekos because we've got legs and breasts here. Then we're gonna pan fry those and then serve the whole lot on a nice, beautiful platter and drizzle the chimichurri right on top. Right, chimichurri, piss easy to make. Here's how it goes, okay? It is a South American style condiment and goes really well with meat. Half a cup of olive oil. In the bowl she goes. Boom. That is your base for the sauce. Then 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Now there are variations to this recipe, but red wine vinegar is, in my mind, the best, and it is also the original recipe. We've got a good handful of chopped flat leaf Italian parsley. That is key. Do not skip on the parsley. Salt and pepper. Garlic, 3 cloves minced. Straight in there, boom. And then a dash of dried oregano, or in this case, just Italian herbs, which has oregano in it. That is your chimichurri. Take a fork or a spoon, give it a good mix around. Boom, you're done. Now, as I said, this is a South American style condiment. And if anything that the South Americans are well known for, it is fantastic barbecue. So take my word for this. This sauce, paired with any meat, awesome, fantastic. Can't lose. Right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna stick it in the fridge and let it cool down while we deal to the Pukeko. Booyah. When it comes to understanding game birds like Pukeko though, you must understand that it is not chicken, okay? If you try to cook duck or Pukeko or goose or whatever, swan, quail, if you try to cook it like chicken, you're gonna experience something that's dry and tough and leathery, and you're never gonna want to eat it again. And I do hear this a lot. Guys are like, oh, I've tried this and I've tried that and it's crap. You just didn't cook it properly, or someone else didn't cook it properly for you. So, Pukeko, in this case, and the same goes for duck and goose and swan, all that stuff, is a red meat. So you want to treat it a little bit more like steak than you would chicken, okay? The breast on its own is pretty much good to go, okay? So that just sits in a container, and we're gonna do something with that in a minute. But one thing that gets neglected, and that's on Pukekos as well as on ducks and other game birds as well, are the legs. Now, Pukeko, they have these big feet, okay, and those feet are designed to walk
almost like through the swamp without sinking the birds. But in order to operate those big feet, there's a lot of sinew inside of that, the front part of or the lower part, which would be your forearm, okay? That makes it really tough to eat. You can slow cook it and then pull all that sinew out, and that's great. But if you're gonna fry something, you wanna separate the thigh portion from the lower leg, or the forearm, fore-end portion of the leg. Now, to do that is super simple, and actually, as with most butchery, it's almost like painting by colors. It just tells you where the cut is. If you look on the inside of the leg, there's a yellow fat line here, and that is actually where the thigh separates from the lower leg. And the thigh itself only has one single bone in it, okay? So that's gonna make it a lot easier. And you can also see where the whole thing bends. So right in here, there's a knee joint. Now, all I do, I want to take a nice sharp knife, and if you want to do this delicately and you cut it apart, you can just do this with a cut. I've got nice strong hands, so all I do is I take my knife and I set it right into that seam, and I give it a single chop. And then we've separated the lower part of the leg, which in this case is going to go to the dogs, and the thigh. The thigh on Pukeko, pheasant, duck, goose, is a beautiful piece of meat with only a single bone in it, and I cannot understand why people don't take it home, because it's quite easy to get a whole lot of that stuff and make a really delicious meal just with thighs on its own. Okay, so we've got the breasts and we've got the thighs of the legs, okay? Now, Ramrod, Rum and Q. These guys have just sent us a whole lot of products, so we're gonna use it. This is the lamb, venison, and game rub. As I said, Pukeko is a little bit more like red meat, so a game rub, I think it's gonna go quite nicely with this. Quite simple, the Pukeko goes in a bowl. Boom. Gonna open the seasoning. Get a little bit of the seasoning on there. Oh yeah. That smells very good. Work it around. Make sure you get a nice even coat all over the pieces. Bit more seasoning if you want to. I like my flavors bold, so get some seasoning on there. And that, as it is going to go in the frying pan. Okay, next take a nice heavy frying pan, get some olive oil in there, get it up to heat, and then the Pukeko quite simply gets fried as you would a steak. Nice little bit of heat either side, couple of minutes, until you've achieved a nice medium rare piece of red meat. The other thing about game meat, always rest your meat. So this has just come out of the frying pan, it's been sitting here for 5 minutes. You can even let it sit there for 10 minutes and then slice into it, because otherwise, if you cut into it straight away, all that juicy goodness inside quite simply runs out and it's gone. If you let it sit, it reabsorbs and you wind up with a nice, juicy, tender cut of meat. Okay, so in all fairness, that Pukeko with that seasoning is actually already on point. That Ramrod Rum and Q seasoning is really, really flavorsome. But obviously we've made the chimichurri, so we're gonna use it. And I'm just gonna take it right now and drizzle it all over this meat, and then that's pretty much good to go. Oh. That's actually ridiculously good. I would love to have someone here right now who would tell you that you can't eat Pukeko and just give them that. Because that is on fire. Yeah. Okay, if you're still a skeptic after seeing this, please do yourself a favor and try this recipe. The Rum and Q seasoning alone will make any meat pop, and a chimichurri is a winning recipe to know no matter what. Also, have a look through the rest of our channel to check out more game recipes, and if you dig what we do, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It does help us to create more and better content.